I've been streaming a bunch of low mans and other challenges over on Twitch. If you guys want to watch live, there is a link in the description below. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's G Miners here. In my last video, I did some shotgun testing with 4th Horseman, and the DPS values were actually insane. This ended up beating Izzy plus Rockets and Cataclysmic both by over 25%. If you haven't seen that, it will be the first link in my description. Basically, by using Rain of Fire with 4th Horseman, you are actually able to increase the DPS it deals a ton. Some of you guys commented other options to try out, so that is what we are doing in this video. I'm going to be testing Heat Rises with Rain of Fire, Ahamkara's Grasp, 6th Coyote, and then Radiant Dance Machines. The goal I am shooting for is to hit over 100,000 DPS over the interval that we shoot all 4 mags, which should happen if we get all of our shots off in 8.36 seconds. Before I get into the values, if you guys do find this video useful, don't forget to drop a like and sub down below. Subbing takes 2 seconds, it's completely free, and you can always change your mind later. Just so it's clear where I'm getting numbers from, 4th Horseman hits 12 pellets for 2501 damage each, and then with the way its damage scaling works, if you were to fire off all 5 shots, this would jump all the way up to 209,000 damage across the mag, because each successive shot deals increased damage. In my previous video, Izzy and an autoloading rocket came in around 67,000 DPS, and hitting 10 shots of Cataclysmic with bait and switch and 4 times the charm was around 77,000, just so that we have something to compare our new values to. So test number 1 is using Rain of Fire and Heat Rises. This will give us an extra ick dash, but the issue is we are going to need 3 in order to bypass all the reloads. So the only real thing that Heat Rises does is increase the DPS within the first 3 mags, but then by the time we stop to reload the last 5 rounds, our DPS is pretty much the exact same as before. Our 3 mag DPS value is increased by around 50%, but then our final DPS value with all round shot is only 4% higher. So overall, Heat Rises makes little to no difference unless you are going up against something that you can kill in just 3 mags of damage. After this, I tested Sealed Ahamkara's Grasps. Now these were heavily nerfed a while back to avoid having another autoloading meta for damage, so we aren't easily able to get 2 reloads off. The first test I did with these is on screen now. Since the second melee wasn't able to proc, I just reloaded the last 5 rounds like normal. These DPS values are pretty much on par with the previous test with Rain of Fire. If I didn't use my melee ability a second time here, DPS would have been a lot higher for the final value. Now, the reason I didn't retest this though is because there is a better way to use these. It sounds counterintuitive, but if you actually wait to do DPS slower, you will actually be able to get both melees off to reload your weapon. This is the second test I ran with these. There is a cooldown timer of something like 5 seconds before you can get another melee reload off, so by slowing down a bit, you can bypass every single reload. The DPS values for this test are on screen now. Definitely a lot better overall compared to if you would need to stop and reload, but still not over that 100k DPS mark that we want to hit. 6th Coyote was the third test, and as expected, it didn't have a huge difference in DPS here either. Having only 2 dodges means that we still need to reload a third and final time, which kind of kills the DPS off. Overall, with this, we got damage off in 9.02 seconds, and our total DPS came out to around 92,000. Another thing that I did notice comparing these numbers when using dodges and melee abilities for reloads compared to Ick Dash is that the time it takes to ready the weapon is much slower. Rain of Fire seems to be sitting slightly above all these options because of how fast you can fire again after Ick Dash. And then finally, we have the big boy test, which I saved for last because I figured it would be the one that hit the highest DPS values and because I hoped it would increase viewer retention. Anyways, Radiant Dance Machine gives unlimited dodges when dodging near an enemy, up to 6 total dodges. So with this, we dealt the entire 20 shots worth of damage, bypassed all reloads, and did it in just 7.41 seconds. Our goal for 100k DPS was to hit under 8.36 seconds, which we completely shattered. So overall, Radiant Dance Machines came in around 113k total damage per second. This is 14% higher than the best test we ever had with Rain of Fire, 47% higher than the top DPS you can ever hit with a God Roll Cataclysmic, and 68% higher than Izanagi's and an auto-loading rocket. Sure, this might not have been the highest total damage output compared to a lot of other options, being able to deal over 100k DPS with anything in Destiny is insane for boss bakes and can be used for everything other than the beefiest raid bosses. Here are the final damage values on screen now. Everything ranks pretty evenly across the board, with some obvious DPS jumps that we expected with Radiant Dance Machines and when comparing to non-4th Horseman DPS options. I also think with some shotgun dexterity mods and or using a Luna faction well for reloads, the DPS values could still go up even higher. Also, in my last video, some of you guys also brought to my attention that I missed a bit of damage that Acreus was dealing, so I will definitely make a follow-up video and retest Acreus to see where it properly lies. Anyways, that's all for this video. As always, have a good one. Peace.